Hey mamas, you're listening to the Balanced Working Mama podcast, the only podcast teaching you how to balance your work, motherhood, and wellness. I am Dr. Amber Thornton, clinical psychologist and mama wellness consultant. Each week we dive into tips and strategies and much more so that you too can become a balanced working mama. Let's dive in. Hey mamas. So I hope that you all are doing well. I'm happy to be recording today. Today's episode is going to be familiar, yet different from what we've been doing this season. And if you've been following along, you know, or maybe you don't know, because I don't think I've even mentioned it. This episode is the last episode in our season 6. And so what that means is that we'll take a little break for the next few weeks. This break will be different, and I will get to that at the very end. But we've wrapped up another season of the Balanced Working Mama podcast. So I'm patting myself on the back for completing 6 whole seasons, which is crazy. It's crazy to think. And currently, I was just looking at our podcast stats, and I anticipate by the end of the season, we should we should reach about 10,000 downloads. And so that's cool. That's really cool. And so it just makes me feel good to know that, something I created, out of my own need, has been so beneficial and so influential for so many of you. And I just want to thank you so much for being here and listening and just sticking with us. And if you're new, hello. So today's episode is familiar because it's just going to be me this episode. Me on the mic, on the podcast, talking to you about something that's important to me. And this season, as you know, has been a little bit different because we've had quite a few guests on this season, but then also we've been really preparing for our Balanced Working Mama community this season on the podcast so that you all are aware of it, so that you all are ready for it. January 1st, our doors will open. Already, we've had some mamas request on our website to actually join the community. So I know the people that are definitely ready and wanting to get going now. But this episode, I actually just wanted to be a little bit more reflective, and so give you some context. Right now, it is Sunday morning. It's like 5:50 in the morning, and y'all know I wake up early. Honestly, most days not intentional. Recently, my body just naturally gets up between 5 and 5:30. Actually, this morning I was up at 4:44. So again, those angel numbers that often come my way, which I'm choosing to believe means I'm doing something right. Either way, I'm up this morning. I'm about to do a really short workout, and something just came to me in terms of like really reflecting on lessons that I've learned in motherhood so far. And so, I feel like I've learned so much in the two and a half years that I've been a mom, and it still feels really new to me. I don't feel like an expert in motherhood. I don't feel like a seasoned mother. I'm not. I have 2 little kids, and they need a lot. And most days, like you all, I'm just trying to get to the next day. But I think what I'm realizing is part of that is the beauty in motherhood. There are some days that really just feel like a drag. And then there are some moments that you're just in awe of your children, or in awe of the family that you've created, or, in awe of the fact that you've done this thing for so long and you're still here and you're still going. And so, what is making me think about is some of the most important lessons that I feel like we all should learn in motherhood. And I have 4 of them. I wrote them down and I want to talk to you about them or at least these are the 4 most important lessons that I have learned. And I hope that these are relevant or resonate with you in some way. And if they do, let me know. Y'all know where to find me. You can usually find me on Instagram. You can reply back to any email newsletter that you receive, and I'll get that email. Email me, whatever. Reach out to me. Either way, here are the most important lessons that I think we all should learn in motherhood. And the first one is just to really keep trying to do your best. And I say that because essentially we are all doing this really hard job of motherhood because we love our children so much. Like so much, you all. We love them so much. And yet there are some days that are just really hard, really, really hard. And yet we continue to love them. And sometimes because some of us are perfectionists, um, we feel like it's not good enough unless it's perfect or unless it's the absolute best or unless it's, this ideal thing that you thought it was supposed to be. But what I'm here to tell you, and I kid you not, I'm looking at the clock and it's 5:55. So there are more angel numbers around me. And I guess this is something saying that this is a message that one of you all needs to hear. It doesn't have to be perfect. It really doesn't. And the most important thing is that you keep trying. You really just wake up and try again to do your very best at whatever it is you're wanting to do. And I feel like this lesson is important when it comes to mothering our children. This lesson is also really important when it comes to pursuing our own endeavors or passions that we have. Keep trying your best. And just know that when you give it the energy and the focus it deserves, you'll get there. Whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve or wanting to do or wanting to pursue, whatever it is that you're wanting to get better at, just keep trying your best. Wake up, try again. Forget about the previous day when it all feels like it all was all messed up. Just keep trying your best. Lesson number 2, which I feel like I've already talked about. So I guess these two are important or related in some way. Lesson number 2 is that perfection is far less important than your presence. And so I think this is something that I'm learning, but also I've noticed that a lot of our Empower Wellness mamas are learning and have struggled with as well. Again, many of you are perfectionists, and many of you all don't realize you're perfectionists just yet. Many of you have anxieties. Many of you feel like you're not doing a good job. But what happens is when we get stuck and caught in that cycle of feeling like we have to do something perfect, we're often not very present because we're so caught up in this one thing that at the end of the day doesn't really matter as much as we think it does. And so, for instance, and I don't have a good example, I'm just about to say what's off the top of my head. For instance, maybe you're trying to do something with your child. I do have a good example actually. This whole conscious parenting thing that I'm taking on and trying to work on, and gentle parenting. Y'all, toddlerhood is just too much. I cannot believe that God in the universe makes us go through having toddlers. Like the shit is fucking nuts. It truly is. And so for those of you who have toddlers right now, I'm sorry. For those of you who have made it through the toddler phase, I'm so glad you've made it. And this shit is nuts. I cannot believe I have a toddler. Bruh, I can't do. Okay, sorry. Sidetracked. Whew, okay, what was I talking about? Oh, perfection. Okay. So I'm trying to be very conscious in the way that I'm parenting my son because I know that if I'm not, I will be triggered. I will be overwhelmed. I will be overstimulated. I will be frustrated. And this has nothing to do with my love for him and everything to do with the reality of the fact that when you have a very active, freely spirited, opinionated, strong-willed toddler. Shit gets real. And so I love my baby, and I often get annoyed and frustrated and overwhelmed. And so I have to be conscious, very, very conscious in the way that I'm parenting so that those things don't override the decisions I make or the actions that I take towards him. And so what I'm learning in this process is that this is not going to be perfect. And it's really not even about the outcome. So often when we're learning a new approach, let's say to parenting or something like that, we're so focused on the outcome of like, okay, when I read this book, I'm going to be this type of parent. But with this thing, I'm learning that it's really about the process of continually trying. So going back to that first lesson of just fucking try, because the more you try, the better than not trying at all. But you're never going to be perfect at it because it's always going to be hard. And so rather, I'm trying to really put my energy and focus on being present in the moment when I'm trying to be consciously parenting him or gently parenting him. I need to be present with him. I want to be focused with him and not working towards this perfect outcome that's never going to come. Because he knows when I'm not present, he doesn't care about it being perfect. He wants my presence. He wants me there. He wants to know that I see him and that he's seen and he's loved. And so your presence is far greater than perfection. And again, this lesson can apply to your parenting. It can apply to any endeavor you're trying to pursue, anything you're trying to do for yourself, whether it's your well-being or your career. Be present as you pursue these things because perfection does not matter. Also, I literally just looked at my screen and it said 11:11. As in, we just hit the 11-minute, 11-second mark. Like, what are the odds, y'all? I tell you, I see these angel numbers all the time. And so many of you all have told me that that is a good thing. And it means that, good things are present or like, I don't know. But I'm choosing to believe that this is a good thing. So far, as what I said, I woke up at 4:44, just saw that it was 5:55 a.m., and then just now we hit the 11-minute, 11-second mark on the recording. Okay, so again, this means y'all need to listen to this. This is a message. This is a word that someone wants you to hear. Okay, lesson number 3. Your well-being matters more than you think. And I wrote this one down because you all know I'm so into wellness for us. And, this has a really big history for me. You all know that my father passed away this year, and his well-being, I wish he knew that his wellness mattered more than he thought. I think I wish that my mom knew that her wellness matters more than she thinks, and my mom is still alive, but, I remember, seeing her work so hard and not ever take the time to take care of herself and wishing that she would, or wishing that she had the capacity to do it, or wishing that she were motivated enough to do it. And I've seen this with so many older women. I think what we saw growing up in terms of our mothers and our grandmothers was that the capacity to take care of themselves in this new way that we're trying to do now is not one that they could access. And that is hard to acknowledge. And there's a lesson there in realizing that we matter so much to the people around us, to this world. I truly believe that all of us have a calling and we have to get it done while we're on earth. And if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't do it. And so you matter so much more than you think. But if you're not taking care of yourself, that's a problem. And so that's why I love Balance Working Mama so much because, oh gosh, I'm going to get emotional. Oh, y'all, I hate crying on this podcast. This is, ugh. Um, it makes me feel so good to know that you all are taking care of yourselves. um, And it's really that simple. Like, that brings me so much joy. Wow. um, it really does. Like, it just makes me feel so good to see that because I just think we all need it. Okay, let me take a deep breath, y'all. You can take a deep breath with me. Ooh, okay. I was not expecting to cry on this podcast, y'all. So bear with me here. Um, yeah, that just really matters. It really matters. We have to take care of ourselves, you all. Because I know, y'all, okay, first of all, let me just say, I hate crying. And you know what? And I don't hate it because I don't think it makes me, um, it doesn't make me feel weak or anything. I feel strong when I cry, but I cannot talk when I'm crying. Like, I envy you all who can talk and cry at the same time. Like, I cannot do it. Whenever people are crying and they're still talking, I'm like, how is she doing this? And so that's why I hate crying, is because it's usually when I'm trying to get out a really important thought and then I can't get it out because I'm so choked up. All right. Okay. I'm breathing. Okay. Anyways, you all. Oh my gosh, now I'm sweating. Oh, this is too much. This is too much. Okay, so going back to the seriousness of this message, I personally have felt the effects of watching someone that I love not take care of themselves. And I talk about this in therapy with my therapist. Um, and it's something that I reflect on often because I think it was not helpful for me to grow up seeing and knowing that my parents were not taking care of themselves. And so with that, I have taken that I've taken that really hard thing and really internalized it for myself. And okay, let me take another deep breath. My biggest passion in this earth right now is truly to take care of myself, but then also to help encourage other people to do the same thing. And at this moment in my life, for whatever reason, it's around motherhood. Because if you would have asked me 20 years ago, what do you want to do when you get older? I would have not said I want to work with moms and helping them take care of themselves. I would not have even said this 5 years ago. It's just something that happened, something in my life that led me to this, and I'm doing it. But it's so fulfilling because it helps me to take care of myself and it helps me to help you all do the very same thing. And that brings me so much joy. It truly does. Y'all have no idea. Okay. So your well-being matters so much more than you know. And your children will be impacted by how well you take care of yourself. You so much. And so if you have been putting off your well-being because you think something else matters, I'm here to tell you, my tears and all, that it doesn't matter as much as you think. Your well-being matters way more because your kids want you to be there. They want you to be present. The people around you want you to be thriving, and you deserve it. But it starts with us truly taking care of ourselves. Whew. Okay, y'all, we're gonna get through this episode. This was not the intention at all. Wow. Okay. One last lesson. Okay, you all, one last lesson. I had to take a break to get myself together. Oh my gosh, I did not realize that this was gonna be so emotional. Um, but I guess that happens, and yeah, that's where I'm at this morning. Very reflective morning. Who knew? I did not. I was not ready. I was not ready for this. Um, the very last lesson I want to share with you in terms of important lessons we all need to learn in motherhood is that we should never do motherhood alone. Never, ever, ever. We should never, ever, ever do motherhood alone. And by this, I mean that um, motherhood is far too hard of a job to be isolated in. It's way too hard and complicated to be doing it without having people that care about you and people that you love checking in on you, you checking in on them. Um, essentially that sense of community around motherhood is so important. Um, I know this to be true both personally, but then also professionally in the work that I'm doing with you all in Balance Working Mama. And so personally, I know this to be true because I have not always been great at cultivating relationships. I am a crazy introvert. Like I'm severely introverted, and it's not a bad thing. It's just I'm very introverted. I'm also shy, to be honest, and I know it doesn't often come through over the podcast or on social media because those are safe places in a sense for me. But in person, I tend to be shy, especially around new people. But then also, I do have a little bit of anxiety that keeps me wondering, am I doing this right? Do they like me? Oh, I've messed that up. Oh, blah, 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 all the social anxious chatter that comes. So introverted, shy, and anxious means that I've often had some really lonely moments because I haven't been as connected as I need to be or want to be, especially before motherhood. I think when I was in grad school, that was a lonely time and a time where I probably could have done a better job of cultivating relationships, keeping up with the relationships I had. And so when I got through those moments and learned those lessons and then became a mom, I realized that there's no way that I could do this and not have other women around me to support me and encourage me, to validate me, to see me. There was just no way. And so I really worked hard to cultivate new relationships in motherhood. Um, and now I'm so proud of the relationships that I have and the work that I'm putting in to continue to keep them. And to be honest, I also am so proud of the relationships that I've cultivated on the internet. Like, that is such a millennial thing, y'all. And I know I'm not the only one. It is hard to make friends in person, especially when you've just went through a pandemic, especially when you become a mom and an adult. It can get really lonely and isolating. And so thankfully, we grew up in the millennial age where we have the internet and we can connect with people all across this country, all across this world. And then if you take it a step further, you can meet these people in real life. Like, amazing. Amazing. Just this year alone, I've met three women on Instagram that I've talked to and spoke to for so long on the internet. And I'm going to meet another one here pretty soon, actually. And so that makes me, I don't know, it just feels really good to be cultivating these relationships and knowing that I'm not doing this really hard thing called motherhood, or even entrepreneurship. I'm not doing any of this stuff alone. I'm building a community behind me. And so, honestly and truly, my deep need and desire for community and connection is what has really driven this decision to move forward with our Balanced Working Mama community. I have learned that in motherhood, it is not okay to be doing any of this alone. It's not okay to not feel like you can't have someone to go call and cry to. It's not okay to feel like there's not someone that you can't complain to about your toddlers. It's not okay to not have these people in your corner to help pick you up when you need it. And so we all need community in and around motherhood because it makes it so much easier. It doesn't make it easy, but it makes it so much easier. This was also something that I learned as we were doing our Empower Wellness programs. Our mamas thrive in community. And like, partly it's like, yeah, the program I put together or whatever. Yeah, I'm a clinical psychologist. I know this stuff. Yeah, whatever. That's part of it. But this would have never worked as well if it was just me working with the mom one-on-one. Putting them all together in community to work on these things together was a game changer. So much so that even when our Empower Wellness programs were done, they wanted to stay connected in a community with each other. Many of them are still in community, like small little communities and like group me messages and text messages, like still a whole year later. And it's because we all have this deep desire to feel connected to something and someone and somebody, especially in the moments that are hard and challenging. And motherhood is that. And so I guess I'm here to tell you now, the Balanced Working Mama community is something that I'm giving my heart to, my all to, my full everything to. I've worked so hard to bring this community to life because I know that if someone else were to create this, I would need it so bad and I would be a part of it. And so I'm creating it, one, so I can, fulfill my need of community and connection, but then also so I can give that to you all as well, because I know for a fact that having community in and around motherhood is the thing that can take us from having the worst year of our lives to having the best year of our life, even with all the challenges that are coming. I know that having community in motherhood is the thing that can take you from feeling like you're never going to get there to the place where you already got there and you're looking back at it like, damn, it's crazy that I didn't think I could do that. I know that having community and motherhood is the thing that will keep you going every single day and not merely just trying to survive the day, but really thriving in the day because you've got a whole set of women behind you that are going to keep you accountable, that are going to be like, girl, where you at? How you doing? That are going to check in with you, that are going to support you in the big thing that you're trying to do. So, with that being said, if you don't have community and motherhood, if you feel like you're doing this alone, if you feel isolated in your pursuit and trying to take care of yourself, trying to pursue this well-being that you've never seen anybody do before, there is power in community of women that come together, wanting to all pursue the same thing, wanting to have more balance in motherhood, wanting to pursue wellness, wanting to learn even what that means for them in this season, wanting to know, how do I feel well when I feel like I'm at my lowest of lows, but I got to keep going. This is what community can bring. And this is what I pray and hope. But no, you know what? Not hope, I know that the Balanced Working Mama community will bring. I know it's going to bring that. And so now it's really up to you to join us and to be a part of this community. And I hope that you will, because I want to connect with you. I want you to connect with the rest of us in this community as we all work together to find and understand what balance and motherhood looks like for people who are mothering in this current time of life. I want us to all come together and work on understanding what wellness looks like and what wellness means and how that then translates to our own life. I want you to be inspired and motivated because there's about to be a whole crew of women out here killing it in our community. And there's no way that you can't be in this and then feel motivated and empowered and encouraged. That's what I want for us. I want us to be strong, to feel strong, to look good, to feel motivated, to feel encouraged, empowered, even on the days that are shit. That's truly what I want. And I firmly believe that the Balanced Working Mama community will do that for you. So Those are my lessons, y'all. To recap, 1, keep trying your best. 2, perfection is way less important than being present. Number 3, your well-being matters way more than you think. And number 4, never, ever, ever do motherhood alone. Never, ever, ever do motherhood alone. Do it with us in the Balanced Working Mama community. Our community will open January 1st. That is a Saturday. And so I hope that you'll just wake up in the morning and jump right on your computer and join us. In the next few weeks, I will be participating in a launch tour for our community on Instagram Live. You might already know about this if you receive our email newsletters and follow on Instagram, but I will be chatting with some of my mama friends on Instagram Live every week the coming weeks of December, about our community and about what we're excited about for the community and what we should expect in the community. It will be a really awesome conversation, and I hope that you join at least one of them to learn a little bit more about what to expect and why we all are excited about this Balanced Working Mama community. But ultimately, I hope that you will make the decision to join us, to invest in our community, by also investing in yourself. And just know that in 2022, you are going to become the very best version of you. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening today. Tears and all. I appreciate you all so much. I am so excited about our community. I hope that you all have a really great holiday. The next few episodes, because the season is ending, it will start again in January, but you'll still be able to hear some things on the podcast in the next few weeks. You'll actually be able to hear the conversations that we'll have on Instagram Live. And so if you don't check them on Instagram, you can actually listen to them here because I'll make sure to upload them onto the podcast. All right, y'all. I love you all so much, and I will see you all in the community. Hey mama, Balanced Working Mama is growing. I want to make sure that you stay connected and up to date with everything happening over here. So you don't miss any of the good stuff, head over to balancedworkingmama.com, sign up for the newsletter. You'll always be the first to learn of any new podcast episodes, events, programs, and you'll get a hello from me every now and then. So sign up today, mama, because I want to connect with you soon. Hey mama, thank you for listening to the Balanced Working Mama podcast. If you love this podcast, please be sure to rate it and share it with another mama that you know. And don't forget to follow me and Balanced Working Mama on Instagram. I'll talk to you soon.